Hello and welcome back to another Tonto video. In today's one, we're at the TMNT, the Shredder, issue number 2. Now, this issue was one which I was very curious about, just because with everything that I did in the last issue, and how it pretty much, I want to say, it really showed the audience just how, low the Shredder has gone to over the past few years, where now he's working for the cops and stuff like that. I was very curious to see how this would be affecting the story, and also how it would be affecting Shredder with how he does things and stuff like that. And I had to say that for the most part, it met my expectations of what I would expect to see from a story like this where Shredder's working for the cops. But at the same time, it does feel like other aspects of it were not what I was imagining, but at the same time, it was what I was expected in a weird way. So yeah. Okay, so for the first bit, we do get to see Shredder, he's sharpening his blade. Meanwhile, we've got the EPF guy and Agent Avion, I believe that's what she's called. They're talking and saying that basically, we've got to go after, we've got to go after the mourner and stuff like that. However, Shredder, he arrives and says basically he doesn't trust any of the people in this building, and he wants to take only Avion just because she's the only one that he trusts and all that kind of stuff. And even at that kind of stage, he doesn't really trust her fully, but he wants to do it by himself. So, yeah. So, after that, we do get to see Shredder and Avion. They go over to a bar, and this bar is sort of run by, I think the character's called King Cobra. We'll get to him in just a second. And, this bit, I must admit, I was very surprised by this bit, and I really do enjoy how dark it went. Just because it first starts off with ladies saying that basically, piss off dude, we got no King Cobra here, just, piss off. But Shredder says, no, if you really want to get cops in, I'm sure they'll be fine. But then it takes a turn for the worse, just because, a gang shows up and is trying to find Shredder, and this is what I was expecting. And I'd say, this is, really cool. But at the same time, it's just not what I imagined, seeing the Shredder doing. Especially, this version. Especially after everything that happened in the last issue, where it said that, it really goes to show just how low it's gone. And this one, it just keeps getting worse for him, where now it's he's doing bar fights. Oh god, this is just awful for him. But yeah, I must admit, I do enjoy how dark this whole fight took, just because he just throwing people around, smashing chairs onto people's faces and stuff like that. It was really unexpected, and I really do enjoy it. And then at one point, even Avion tries to step in and stops him from doing anything bad. However, the Shredder just throws her across the room into an arcade machine. And again, stuff which I was really surprised at because of the direction that it went in. And it's something which I'm honestly quite surprised that they haven't really brought up yet, in terms of the fact that Shredder somewhat betrayed her and stuff like that. But I've got a feeling that this could be. I'm not too sure what to really say about this, but it just doesn't really feel like this was as big of a deal as I was imagining it would be, but I guess we'll wait and see about that. But yeah, sure. So yeah, so after that we do get to see Shredder. He takes one of the men and he tells him, show him where King Cobra is. So he takes him down to King Cobra, and that's when King Cobra comes out and starts to talk to Shredder, saying basically, ever since Shredder was in New York, running New York and that kind of stuff, with the film and that kind of stuff, he was running the underground section with drugs and that kind of stuff, and he was moving all the drugs throughout the city while Shredder was doing his stuff on the top side. And because of all this, the Mourner's using his connections to bring in all the bombs and explosives and stuff like that. And this is where I'd say that this things get I don't know what to really say about this, just because I don't know how to properly describe this. I feel like a retcon might be the best way to describe all this, because Shredder goes, King Cobra goes on to say, I've been here, I've been doing all this kind of stuff, you didn't know about it, and now, we could have been an amazing team back in the day, but now, it's not really worth it and stuff like that. And Shredder goes on to say that, oh no, I knew you was there, but I never wanted to interfere with your plans just in case, and I was the only one who knew in the foot and all that kind of stuff. It just feels so stupid, it's just so weird, because if you knew about all this kind of stuff, you would do something, something to stop him, or something along those kind of lines, even take over his business, just something. So, I feel like retcon might be the best way to describe it, because it's not something which they have brought up before, or anything like that, and it's not like a bad thing that I didn't bring up before, But it just feels so weird that to try and hype him up, like King Cobra would be like, oh my god, he's the worst villain that Shredder never faced and that kind of stuff. But yet somehow Shredder knew about him. It just feels so weird that they're not going in this direction. But then after that, we do get see King Cobra. He brings out all his men to try and kill Shredder, but Shredder kills all of them, and then goes after King Cobra himself. And then this is where I'd say that this is where things took a very surprising turn. Just because you do get to see Shredder, he slashes like King Cobra's face up like really badly to the point where he now needs to have the mask on just so that he can keep up his appearance and stuff like that. And this is where like the dialogue changes as well, from like how the people were like talking normally to each other to now a report from Avion. And I have to say that this is something which I was a bit surprised at first, because I was still disappointed with how they went in this direction, because I was thinking, oh okay, so we're not going to see like a full-on fight, we're not going to see anything else beyond that. But I do like how that, like this section here, there's how to go in this direction and it's how to speed things up. We were like doing it as a report saying that, oh yeah, I saw Shredder, he'd done this kind of stuff, then he vanished. And then at the end of the issue, Shredder shows up and says that, yeah, I vanished, but I had to make sure that what he was saying was true and that kind of stuff. So I do like how they did this in a very unique approach, where it was trying to speed things up in like a very natural and interesting way, without trying to like rush everything, which I thought was like a decent idea. And I had to say that I do respect the idea of how they went around it. I just wish for like we actually got to see a lot more of the kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I had to say that overall for this issue, it's like I feel like it's better than the last issue, because I definitely don't feel like it's like showing Shredder's weaker flaws in this series like it did in the last issue. But it definitely does show like some of the like weaker areas or Shredder's character, where now it's like working for the police and now it's in a bar fight and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, is this ready for Shredder? But at the same time, I would have to say that like the action in this issue was just, and the drama, I really love this whole drama which is setting up with Shredder just going around trying to kill all these big like names and gangs and stuff like that. That is pretty cool. Combine that with the amazing action. Yeah, the artwork for this issue is just really helping this whole series just be like one of the best series, and yeah, I love it so much. But I mean, I have to say that overall for the issue, I do really enjoy this one quite a bit, a lot more than the first issue, and there's a lot of moments in it just like, oh god, that is just so cool and amazing. But at the same time, I can't ignore the fact that, Shredder's doing bar fights now. It just seems so weird, especially for like this version. Just any other version it might have worked for, but like just not this one. It's just a weird thing. But I'd say that overall for this one, I really did enjoy this issue, and I really can't wait to see where we go like for the next issue and a few issues after that. This issue, I'd say, has definitely got my excitement for the series a lot more excited for this one, and yeah, I can't wait to read the rest of this one now. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this issue? Do you like it? Do you not? And yeah, that's game for today, guys. It's some police chess grub stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.